Beloved chosen one, heaven is not merely a place we wait for beyond this life. It is a sacred echo that whispers to your soul even now. You were not called to wander the earth blind to eternity. Heaven has always been near, walking beside you, woven into the fabric of your spirit. You felt it in the quiet moments when the world went still, and your heart remembered it was made for something more. Heaven is not just a future reward, it is the reality of God's presence breaking through your current life in divine fragments of love, peace, and glory. What does heaven mean? It means wholeness, restoration, a return to the garden you were once exiled from but never forgotten by. Heaven is the Father's embrace that never lets go. It's the place where everything broken is mended, everything lost is found, and everything you've ever hungered for is finally fulfilled. Not with noise, but with a holy silence that speaks louder than any word on earth. Heaven is not far away. It begins the moment you step into alignment with God's will, when your soul starts to reflect the light it came from. You've been marked by heaven long before you ever understood it. That ache you've carried, that restlessness, that yearning for something greater, it's not weakness, it's a signal, a divine longing, proof that you were never made to fit into the smallness of this world. You were crafted in the image of eternity, and now, chosen one, that divine spark inside you is awakening. Because heaven is not only coming to you, it's already within you. Let's pause here. You must align your heart, clear your mind, and open your spirit. What's coming is too big for old mindsets. What's coming requires space. God is about to pour out something powerful, and He needs a vessel that's ready to receive. Before we dive deeper into this word, I need you to do 3 things. First, like this video, not just to support the channel, but as a bold act of agreement with this prophetic message. Second, subscribe and help us reach 1,000 chosen ones walking in purpose. Then go to the comments and write 99 or 777. These numbers are more than symbols. They are prophetic signals to heaven. 99 represents fulfillment and divine urgency. 777 represents spiritual completion and divine perfection. When you type them, you're not just commenting. You're declaring in faith that you're ready. Third, write your deepest desire, your most heartfelt prayer in the comments. Don't just type it, release it with faith. Because whatever you write in faith becomes sealed in the heavens. This is your divine declaration. You see, heaven is not just a destination. It's a design. It's encoded in your destiny, and every choice you make to walk in love instead of fear, to forgive instead of hold on, to speak life instead of death, you're building heaven right here on earth. When you choose righteousness, when you trust God through the wilderness, when you rise after betrayal, you're bringing heaven closer. You become a doorway for others to glimpse eternity through your life. Heaven means divine justice, the kind no man can delay. It means there is a table prepared for you in the presence of your enemies. And the meal is joy, peace, favor, and rest. It means the last will be first. The broken will be crowned. The rejected will be exalted. The wounded will be healed. The forgotten will be celebrated. That's what heaven looks like, the reversal of pain, the redemption of every tear, the restoration of everything the world said was beyond repair. Chosen one, you are not working for heaven. You are working with heaven. You are not begging for God's favor, you were born from it. You are not lost trying to find your way, you're being guided step by step. by a power that knows no bounds, a love that cannot fail. Heaven is not a dream, it is your inheritance. And that inheritance is unfolding in your life in ways you don't even fully see yet. Every time you choose to love instead of lash out, you choose heaven. Every time you speak the truth in boldness when fear wants to silence you, you choose heaven. Every time you walk away from what no longer serves your spirit, even when it hurts, even when it costs you, even when you feel alone, you are stepping closer to heaven. Heaven means clarity. It means living in a realm where your spirit is not confused, where you are not tormented by the noise of comparison, fear, or shame. It's where you remember who you are because you remember whose you are. Heaven restores the vision of your soul. It clears the dust of this world from your eyes and lets you see yourself through the eyes of the one who created you. Heaven is not the escape. It is the destination of transformation. It is the reward for remaining faithful when no one applauded you, when no one noticed your obedience, when no one celebrated your quiet victories. But heaven noticed. Heaven counted every tear, recorded every silent prayer, marked every act of faith. And now heaven is moving on your behalf. So, chosen one, what does heaven mean? It means you were never forgotten. It means your pain was never wasted. It means your trials were never random. Every wilderness led to a well. Every fire refined your purpose. Every delay was divine training. Every broken piece was part of a masterpiece. Heaven means your story is not over. It's only just beginning. Chosen one, now that you understand heaven isn't some far-off realm, but a divine reality already touching your life, let's go deeper. Let's explore what happens when heaven begins to manifest around you, how everything shifts, how the atmosphere around your soul changes. You've felt it, haven't you? The subtle but undeniable shift. You've walked into rooms and felt heavier or lighter without knowing why. That's spiritual awareness. That's heaven brushing past your skin, whispering through your intuition, anchoring your heart in unseen truths. When heaven begins to align with your life, everything that is false begins to fall away. The people who once celebrated you might become silent. The environments that once fed your ego begin to starve your spirit. The routines that once comforted you start to feel like cages. Why? Because heaven won't let you settle. It comes not just to bless you, but to elevate you. Not just to heal you, but to stretch you. Not just to give you peace, but to expand your capacity for divine purpose. This is why you've felt misunderstood lately, why some doors closed, why some connections ended, why your spirit no longer finds rest in shallow waters. That discomfort wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It was God removing what couldn't follow you into the promise. Heaven comes with divine refinement. It purifies, it exposes, it removes the false and replaces it with the eternal. You were never rejected, you were redirected. Heaven is not soft clouds and golden gates, it is divine order. When it touches your life, things fall into place, even if it begins with things falling apart. That job that didn't work out, that relationship that ended, that opportunity that passed you by. All of it was part of the divine unraveling. The old had to break for the new to be built. The temporary had to leave so the eternal could enter. You may not have understood it at the time, but heaven has been fighting for you in rooms you've never entered, protecting you from traps you didn't even know existed. You thought you were losing, but in truth, you were being positioned. You thought it was rejection, but it was realignment. You didn't miss your moment, chosen one. You were being hidden until the right moment arrived. Heaven's timing is not human timing, and when you trust that divine rhythm, you begin to flow with something greater than hustle or ambition. You begin to move with peace. You begin to recognize that delays are not denials. They are divine pauses to prepare the stage for something greater. The door isn't just opening for you, it's being built in your honor. You've been walking with heaven even on the days you felt furthest from it. Because heaven doesn't measure your worth by how perfect you are, it moves according to your willingness, your yes, your surrender. That moment when you whispered, "God, I trust you," even when you didn't understand what was happening, that's when heaven leaned in. That's when angels started clearing the path. Chosen one, you are becoming a living portal of divine reality. When you speak, healing flows. When you enter a space, peace settles. When you pray, things shift in the unseen. Do you know why? Because heaven recognizes its own, and heaven is in you. You were never meant to blend in, to walk unnoticed, to hide your light. You are marked, anointed, sent forth, not just to experience heaven, but to carry it. That's why the enemy tried to confuse you. That's why chaos surrounded you. That's why the storms came so hard. Because your alignment with heaven threatens the entire kingdom of darkness. The enemy fears a soul that knows its source, and you, chosen one, are beginning to remember. You're starting to see beyond what the eyes can see. You're starting to sense when a room is heavy with pain or drenched in purpose. You're discerning. You're awakening. This is not just personal development, it's spiritual elevation. It's the divine rising in you, reminding you that heaven is not something you die to enter. It's something you live to release. You've cried for clarity. You've prayed for breakthrough. But what heaven is sending you is bigger than an answer. It's a transformation. It's the kind of revelation that doesn't just solve problems, it dissolves the entire illusion of lack. You are not empty, you are overflowing. The more you release, the more heaven will fill you. So let's make this clear. You are not chasing heaven. You are embodying it. Every moment you walk in forgiveness, every time you choose integrity over impulse, every time you choose to bless someone in secret, you're planting heaven on earth. Heaven is the way you love people who can't repay you. Heaven is the way you keep believing even after you've been disappointed. Heaven is in your laughter after seasons of weeping. Heaven is in your resilience, in your glow, in your stillness, in your roar. Heaven is what happens when your spirit says yes to God's will before your life even understands how it will unfold. Chosen one, you are heaven's echo walking in human form, and soon the world will see it too. Chosen one, when heaven begins to flow through your life, it doesn't just bring beauty, it brings divine responsibility. The blessings you're beginning to see, the peace that's starting to settle over your soul, the opportunities quietly rising like morning light. They're not random, they are assignments in disguise. They are sacred invitations from the divine saying, "I trust you to carry more." Because heaven never gives you something just for your comfort. It gives to you so that you can give. It blesses you so that you can bless. It fills your life not just to satisfy, but to overflow. You are not simply a receiver, you are a conduit. The wealth that is on its way, the healing that is forming, the favor that is circling your name, they are tools for your kingdom mission. You're not being elevated for applause, you're being elevated to become a light in places where people have forgotten how to hope. That is why your life had to be refined. That is why you had to go through the wilderness. That is why the fire came, not to destroy you, but to prepare you for this moment. A moment where your story becomes a lifeline for someone else. Do you remember when you prayed for purpose? When you cried out in secret, asking God to use you? Heaven heard. And now, God is placing the weight of divine trust upon your shoulders, not as a burden, but as an honor. He knows what you carry. He knows the oil in your spirit is rare, pressed through trials no one saw. He knows your tears have watered the soil of something sacred, and now the harvest is coming. But hear me clearly, prosperity is not the prize, it's the platform. You were not chosen just to have a comfortable life. You were chosen to shift atmospheres, to break generational chains, to carry a frequency so full of heaven that it disrupts darkness by simply walking into a room. That's why the blessings must come. You must be resourced for the road ahead. You must have more than enough so that you never hesitate to help. You must walk in overflow so that lack never stops you again. You must be financially free so that you can build, serve, and bless with boldness. That is heaven's plan. Not just enough to survive, but more than enough to transform. You're about to be trusted with abundance, not because you're greedy, but because you're generous. Not because you crave wealth, but because you're ready to steward it. You've shown God that your heart is anchored, that your spirit is aligned, that you will not lose your soul chasing the world. And now the heavens are opening for real. Favor is being assigned to your name. Connections are being divinely orchestrated. Resources are flowing from unexpected places. Why? Because you made a move in faith. You said yes when it made no sense. You sowed seeds when you had very little. You stood firm when storms came. That kind of obedience cannot go unnoticed in the kingdom. Chosen one, this is where your journey becomes sacred architecture. Every act of faith becomes a brick. Every moment of surrender becomes a window for heaven to shine through. Your life is becoming a temple, a place where others will feel God's presence just by being near you. That's how real it's getting. That's how tangible heaven is about to become in your life. But with this elevation comes clarity. Not everyone can go where you're going. Not every relationship is aligned with your assignment. As you rise, some will misunderstand you. Some will distance themselves. Some will question your transformation. Do not dim your light to comfort their shadows. You were not chosen to stay small. You were chosen to expand, to illuminate, to awaken. Heaven doesn't wait for permission. It moves in power, and you must do the same. Speak boldly, give generously, love radically, forgive quickly, serve humbly. These are the marks of someone who carries heaven. These are the signs of someone who understands that divine favor isn't for decoration, it's for demonstration. You've been given much, and now much will be required. But don't fear this weight, chosen one. You were built for it. You were trained for it. Every heartbreak was a lesson in compassion. Every delay was a test of trust. Every valley was a rehearsal for the mountaintop. And now you're being called to rise, not just for yourself, but for everyone watching your light. You're not here to impress. You're here to impact. This is what heaven looks like in motion. It's not just flashes of miracles, it's the quiet consistency of someone who lives with purpose. Someone who moves with grace. Someone who walks with power that doesn't shout, but shifts everything silently. You are that person, so don't be surprised when doors open that you didn't knock on. Don't be shocked when blessings chase you down. Don't second-guess the favor that starts pouring in. This is what happens when heaven recognizes its own. You're not just receiving, you're reflecting, and the reflection is radiant. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. You've entered a new realm. You're walking under an open heaven. The kind of heaven that follows you, flows through you, and leaves evidence everywhere you go. The kind that turns your entire life into a testimony. So move boldly, live righteously, give recklessly, forgive fully, and love without limits. Because this is what heaven looks like, and it's moving through you now. Chosen one, when heaven moves through you, it doesn't stop with you. That's the power of divine alignment. It turns you into a living testimony, a vessel through which healing, hope, and truth can reach places your feet may never even walk. This is why your journey has been so intense. This is why the fire had to burn away what was false. Because God wasn't just preparing you for blessing, He was preparing you for impact. People around you are watching. Even those who say nothing, they feel the shift in your presence. They see the difference in your posture. They notice the peace that rests on you like a crown. They may not say it out loud, but they're asking themselves, how did they come through all of that and still radiate light? And when they ask, the answer will not be your strength. It will be heaven's. This is how transformation works, chosen one. First in you, then through you. God didn't just save you from the pit. He's making you the ladder for others to climb out. He's placing a torch in your hand so that those lost in darkness will see your glow and find their way. You are becoming more than a survivor. You are becoming a way shower, a restorer of broken paths, a builder of hope. That's why your prayers feel different now. That's why you can walk into a room and feel what's broken without anyone saying a word. That's not sensitivity, it's spiritual discernment. It's heaven using your senses to locate pain in others. You're not imagining it. You're reading atmospheres. You're detecting wounds. You're picking up burdens that heaven is asking you to intercede for. Because you are not just walking with God, you're walking as a representative of heaven. And heaven doesn't come empty-handed. It brings healing where there's been trauma. It brings joy where sorrow has made a home. It brings justice where lies have reigned. It brings clarity where confusion has clouded minds. And now, heaven is sending those gifts through you. You are a river now, and wherever you flow, life will grow. The barren will bloom, the broken will rise, the dry places will overflow. That is the kind of transformation heaven is working through you, not once, but daily, not just spiritually, but physically, emotionally, and relationally. Your family will feel it, your community will see it, your enemies will witness it, and strangers will be drawn to it. Why? Because heaven makes everything around you better. You were chosen not just to prosper, but to preserve, to protect what's sacred, to pass on what's divine, to plant seeds of light in a world choking on shadows. Do you see now why the battle was so great? Why you cried the way you did? Why the warfare felt so unfair? It's because what you carry is rare. What you hold inside is holy. The enemy wasn't attacking what you had, he was terrified of what you were becoming. And now that you've stepped into your identity, the war has shifted. You're not on the defense anymore. You are the divine disruption. Heaven isn't a far-off dream. It's a present force. And through you, it's gaining territory. Your thoughts are being reprogrammed. Your emotions are being restored. Your vision is being elevated. Your words are becoming sharper, soaked in truth. This is more than growth, it's spiritual awakening. This is what it means to carry heaven and become a vessel for eternal transformation. Chosen one, the miracles are no longer just coming to you, they are beginning to move through you. Healing will happen because you prayed. A life will change because you spoke. A heart will open because you walked into the room. This is not ego, it's purpose. This is not pride, it's your calling. Let the fire in your soul burn gently but powerfully. Let your life be proof that God still speaks, still moves, still raises people from ashes and gives them crowns of beauty. You are the evidence. You are the miracle walking. And soon others will realize that the glow on you, it's not from the world. It's heaven. Chosen one, if heaven has a language, it is prayer. Not the kind recited out of duty, not the kind whispered only in desperation, but the kind born from the deepest part of your spirit, the kind that doesn't always have words, the kind that rises from your tears, from your surrender, from your stillness. You see, heaven doesn't respond to eloquence, it responds to honesty. And when your soul turns fully toward God, heaven bends to listen. Prayer is not just communication, it is alignment. Every time you pray, your spirit aligns with the divine rhythm of heaven. You step out of human timing and into eternal timing. You exchange your fear for peace, your confusion for clarity, your weakness for strength. Prayer isn't a ritual, it's a lifeline. It's heaven's breathing room in the chaos of the world. It's where you don't just speak to God, you become who God created you to be. Do you want to feel heaven moving in your life? Pray. Do you want clarity about your purpose? Pray. Do you want peace that surpasses all understanding? Pray. Because every time you open your mouth, or even your heart, heaven opens too. The most powerful moments of your life may not be when you were seen, celebrated, or applauded, but when you were alone, on your knees, praying through pain no one else knew about. That is where heaven saw you clearest. That is where angels gathered. That is where destiny shifted. Prayer is where you download vision. It's where you get divine instruction. It's where you stop reacting to life and begin creating it through spiritual authority. You're not helpless, chosen one. You're plugged in. You have access to the throne of grace. You have the attention of the creator of the universe. Heaven moves when you speak. Angels move when you declare. Realms open when you pray in truth and faith. That's how powerful you are. Not because of who you are alone, but because of whose you are. Prayer is the bridge between your current reality and heaven's intention. It builds a path where there was no road. It brings healing where medicine failed. It brings comfort when words fall short. It breaks chains, opens doors, lifts burdens, and silences lies. It's how heaven invades earth through you. Some think heaven is only reached in the afterlife. But you, chosen one, you are living proof that heaven begins in prayer, that divine answers begin with whispered questions, that eternal strength begins with surrendered moments. Prayer is where miracles are born, not just in what God does for you, but what He does within you. Have you ever wept during a prayer, unsure if God heard you? He did. Have you ever said nothing at all, just sat in silence and hoped He understood? He did. Have you ever cried out, not with words, but with pain that shook your soul? Heaven answered. You don't need to be perfect to pray. You just need to be present. You don't need a fancy script, just a faithful heart. Your prayers don't have to be loud, they just have to be real. It's not your performance that reaches heaven, it's your surrender. Even Jesus, the Son of God, would retreat and pray. Not because he was weak, but because prayer is power. He knew the source, he knew the secret, and he gave it to you, chosen one. Never underestimate what happens when you pray. Mountains move, doors open, battles end, hearts soften, lives change. Not because you shouted, but because you believed. Your prayer life is your spiritual engine. Without it, you drift. With it, you soar. It's how you stay aligned when the world feels chaotic. It's how you remember your identity when life tries to make you forget. It's how you protect your peace, access your inheritance, and hear heaven's whispers in the middle of noise. If you want to carry heaven, you must speak its language. You must live a life that flows from prayer, not just moments of it, but a posture of it. Walking prayerfully, loving prayerfully, living with one ear always open to heaven. This is how miracles find you. This is how favor follows you. This is how you build a relationship with the divine that no one can shake. Prayer is not a last resort. It is your first response. It is the atmosphere where heaven is felt strongest, where answers are formed, where your soul grows roots that storms cannot rip out. So, chosen one, keep praying, even when you don't see results yet, even when your heart is tired, even when the world distracts you, because every prayer is planting, every whisper is watering. And in due time, heaven will bloom through you in ways you never imagined. Let this be your legacy, a life anchored in prayer, guided by heaven, and overflowing with divine purpose. You are not just speaking to God, you are partnering with Him, and together you are bringing heaven to earth.